What's up, Bills Mafia? I got 8 things to watch for when the Buffalo Bills play the New York Giants in Buffalo on Sunday night. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is VZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Hey, Bills Mafia, big game this Sunday night against the Giants. It is a welcoming of Mr. Brian Dable and Mr. Tyrod Taylor and a few other players, Isaiah Hodgins, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, but a game that Buffalo Bills should take care of business at home against the Giants that do not look good this season. Real quick, guys, if you want to join Mafia Sports Report, it's only $4.99 a month. You get exclusive content, and of course, you're helping out the channel grow. And I would really, really appreciate that. So the link will be below in the description. So let's get this thing going right now. All right. Once again, shout out to Bills Wire for creating this article. All right, first up is Dable's homecoming. Look at that. Look at Brian Dable over there in the Giants. He doesn't look too happy. He's disgusted by Daniel Jones. Shouldn't have paid him. Brian Dable will be back in Buffalo. That's the exact reason why this one will be on Sunday Night Football. He left the Bills to become the Giants head coach. That will be brought up tons on the broadcast at the game. Dable might get some Bills Mafia love too. Maybe. I don't know. Will he? I think Tyrod Taylor will probably get a little bit more love than Brian Dable. But hey, who knows? I personally was not a big fan of Brian Dable, though he did do some good things while he was here in Buffalo, and he did help out Josh Allen's career. By helping him improve as a player. So I'm not going to totally knock him for what he did here in Buffalo. I just wasn't a big fan of Brian Dable's play calling and in-game adjustments. But hey, he's a head coach now. He deserved it. And year 2 for Brian Dable right now is a tough one. And that's something that him and, his GM need to work out as far as what they're going to do at the quarterback position, because they already paid the man and paid him handsomely. All right, let's get to the next one. Any intel? Look at Brian Dable trying to be sneaky, gonna, let the defensive coordinator know what Josh Allen and this offense is all about. While that's all warm and fuzzy, Dable does know the Bills and their offense very well. Does that help the Giants at all? Yeah, I think so. I think it gives them a little edge as far as what he knows what Josh Allen likes and what he doesn't like. And let's be real, this playbook that we're currently using under Dorsey is basically a dummy down Brian Dable playbook. That's all it was. And I gotta say, I'm very disappointed in Ken Dorsey, because I was a big supporter of Ken Dorsey becoming OC. I was saying it for years that he was going to be the next Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator, and I was super excited when he took over. I gave him the benefit of the doubt from last season because, let's be real, the personnel on the field wasn't the greatest, especially at offensive line and wide receiver depth. We didn't really have much outside of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, who had a little rocky year. But this year we went ahead and loaded up. We got him young offensive linemen. The offensive line is playing good. Gabe Davis is actually having a good bounce back season. And then we got him weapons like Trent Sherfield, Hardy. We got him a draft pick in Dalton Kincaid in the first round. And I just feel like he's just still not using, his weapons that he has to their strengths. He's just not. We got him a bunch of pieces, and he doesn't know what to do with them. And this offensive game plan that he throws out there is basically a Brian Dable offensive game plan minus minus the the gadget plays and the creativity. It's just not there so far for Ken Dorsey going into his second season. Um, and I don't know. I don't know what's holding Ken Dorsey back, but he needs to figure things out. So yes, Brian Dable is going to have that little bit of edge going into this game, because he's very familiar with the playbook. He's very familiar with Josh Allen. He knows his, like I said, he knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and we haven't really mixed anything up on offense since he left. So let's see what Ken Dorsey has planned. If he sprinkles in some of something new, some creativity, and changes things up. But ultimately, we still should win this game because the Giants are, they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now as well, and they're just not a very good football team. But yeah, I would say that gives them a little bit of an edge as far as Dable being familiar with this offense and a lot of the players on it. All right, next up, missing pieces for the Giants. The growing injury list for the Giants just simply might be too much for Dable to overcome. There are key pieces that could be out. Quarterback Daniel Jones, neck. Running back Saquon Barkley, ankle. And left tackle Andrew Thomas, hamstring, are amongst those on the list. It's still to be determined who does suit up. But in all likelihood, New York will be shorthanded. And yes, so it's by the way, they came out today. It's been reported that Daniel Jones will not play. Tyrod Taylor will get the start. Good old Tyrod Taylor. By the way, I am a fan of Tyrod Taylor, man. I loved him while he was here. Got us to the playoffs in 2017, broke that drought. Just a good dude, man. Good teammate. Never had a problem with Tyrod Taylor. I really wish he was like he would have been our backup at some point. Obviously right now, we have our backups, but man, I would have just loved Tyrod to finish his career here as a backup. Good dude. Had a lot of just misfortune ever since he left Buffalo, and it's been a rocky road for Tyrod, but it's going to be cool seeing him back in Buffalo, and I'm sure he'll get some cheers. I wouldn't assume that he would get any boos because he did nothing wrong while he was here. He busted his ass while he was here. He earned that quarterback spot, by the way, as well. I think he was third on the depth chart coming in when Rex Ryan signed him uh, back when. So yeah, man, pretty cool. And I don't know about Saquon Barkley just yet, but they're missing a lot of guys, man. But I got to be real with you. Daniel Jones has been playing shitty anyway. So even if Daniel Jones played this game, it wouldn't matter. Daniel Jones is playing awful anyway. So to me, to be honest with you, it wouldn't have mattered. All right, next up, former friends on the field. Look at Tyrod. And speaking of, if some of these starters can't go, many former Bills and now on the are now on the Giants. Plenty of New York's roster, particularly depth options, used to call Buffalo home. As the top of the list in the quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. If Jones is out, Taylor is in. Others include the recently traded Boogie Basham. I totally forgot about him. Isaiah Hodgins, I mentioned him earlier. Tight end Tommy Sweeney. Geez, I didn't even know he was there. Wideout Cole Beasley is on New York's practice squad. Didn't even know he was still on the practice squad. To some level, several of these players could get into the game. And I believe they have Matt Breida as well. So, man, yeah, they have a ton of former Buffalo Bills players. But none of them, let's be real, none of them are going to make any kind of impact on this game. Hodgins is a decent player, but he's a wide receiver 3 at best. Other than that, everybody else is just whatever. Just like they said, they're depth pieces. So they're not going to make any noise against the Buffalo Bills. All right, next up, evening out evening out the offense. The Bills have the Bills had a terrible outing in terms of an even out offense in their 25-20 loss to the Jaguars last week. Offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey calling 44 passing plays and only 10 handoffs to running backs. Lead back James Cook had 5 for -4 yards. Expect different, closer numbers. I would hope so. I mean, once again, Ken Dorsey, once I thought he had it figured out, He has that kind of game last week. I have no idea what's going on with Ken Dorsey, man. I'll talk good about him one week and say I think he's getting it together. He's starting to see, what he needs to do. He's using the guys, using the guys right, on the field. And then he has a game like week 5 against the Jaguars. I have no idea. This offense has no identity. Um, we barely used 12 personnel last week. We barely got the running backs involved. You see that 10 total carries. Latavius Murray got going late. Harris barely ran the ball. It's just I don't understand it. I really don't when it comes to Ken Dorsey's game plan, and I don't understand his in-game adjustments because there is none. And in order to be a good offense coordinators league, you got to do in-game adjustments because there's defense coordinators. It's like a chess match out there, right? Defense coordinator is going to make in-game adjustments, the good ones, and you as an OC have to make your adjustments to counter, right? It's like chess, and he just doesn't do it. Once again, Josh Allen not going under center is driving me insane. Play action passes under center, they work, and yet he doesn't do them. He doesn't do them often enough. Um, we just don't have an identity, and every offensive drive we do, at least this season, it seems like it's a mission. It seems like it's difficult to score a touchdown. Like nothing comes easy for this offense, and it shouldn't be that way. We have weapons all over. He just doesn't utilize them. He doesn't. He doesn't know the player's strengths, and if he does, he's not using them. I don't understand. You got Hardy, who is an elite. I mean, elite speedster, right? Dude has electric speed and you don't have them in motions, you don't have them jet sweeps, you're not using them for the deep ball, you're not doing anything with them. You're doing wide receiver screen passes. I don't get it. Trent Sherfield, who I was so excited for when we signed him. I thought this guy would, you know, uh, help this offense, would be a key piece to this offense. We've barely used him, and it's a shame because he had a good offseason. He was having a connection with Josh Allen early in training camp, decent preseason, and yet we go away from him. Numbers never called. Then you got Dalton Kincaid, who had a great training camp, good preseason. Once again, we don't go to him. We don't know how to use him. Um, so I just don't get it. He has weapons all over the place and just doesn't know how to use them. So until he figures it out, this offense is going to continue to, um, have tough drives, have drives that are just, uh, you know, tough to get points. We'll get them because we have an unbelievable quarterback. But man, I am concerned a little bit with Ken Dorsey now, and it's crazy because I had Ken Dorsey's back for the longest time, but um, there's only so much I could take. I mean, so listen, we're in week 6. Maybe he figures it out, but he needs to. If he doesn't, and things don't go good this season, guys, I could definitely see Ken Dorsey getting his walking papers. I got to be real with you, and I hate to say that because I like the dude. I think he helped out Josh Allen's career as well, just like Brian Dable. I actually think he did a little bit more for Josh Allen being the quarterback coach when he came in. But as OC, he's having a tough time. He's having a tough time. All right, next up, fresh at home. Yeah, look at that stadium right there. The Bills appear to look sluggish in London up until halfway through the fourth quarter against the Jags. Buffalo only put up 7 points. Home sweet home, back in Orchard Park. The Bills will be fresher. They better be. I mean, I would hope so. That's all on McDermott. I've talked about this all through the week. That's on McDermott. That's also on the NFL for scheduling the way they did. Very, very unfair match scheduling by the NFL. I get that Roger Goodell was testing it out, but why do you test it out in preseason, bro? Like, what are you doing? But anyways, still no excuse. The Bills should have won that game, but also on Sean McDermott, man, in the future, bud, forget the sports science team. Do what's right. Get out there early, like every other NFL team does. What are you doing, bro? Like that's all on you as well. So, all right, next up, increase Avon. After spending the first 4 weeks of the 2023 season on the pup list, Von Miller returned and faced Jacksonville. He was on a pitch count. That's expected to decrease against the Giants. Yeah. I still don't think it's going to be a high one. I don't think he'll have a lot of snap counts. But it'll be a little bit better than against Jacksonville. It's going to be a slow kind of pace as far as that goes until he gets 100% NFL ready, like NFL game shape ready. But yeah, I do expect to see a little bit more of Von against the Giants. But I'll be honest with you, the way that field was in London, we're lucky that he didn't get hurt because look what happened. Matt Milano, right? Teron Johnson, thank God, knock on wood, that he's fine. But yeah, like if I knew the field was like that, I would have been totally fine with Von sitting out that game. But anyways, yeah, I do expect more increase of snap counts by Von Miller in this game for sure. All right, next up, dealing with the holes. The Giants aren't going to be the only unhealthy team on Highmark Stadium's turf. In the past 2 weeks, the likes of linebacker Matt Milano, knee, defensive tackle Daquan Jones, pec, and quarterback Trey White, Achilles, are all likely out for the remainder of the 2023 season. Week 6 is going to be the first time we see the Bills in action without them. Whatever. Injuries. Guys, man, the football guys are just cruel to the Buffalo Bills, man. I listen, I get it. Every team faces injuries every season. There's been some rough ones this year. Aaron Rodgers, week 1, right? I know the Miami Dolphins just lost their running back for, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. And he was having a good year for a rookie, especially a rookie. I think he was like 3rd in rushing. So it's rough. But once again, Buffalo losing key pieces on defense. Trey White, right? Matt Milano, Daquan Jones. These guys, they can't be replaced. There's not a player on this team that can replace what they do on the field. But we have depth, and those guys are going to need to step up. But unfortunately, they can't do what those guys do on the field. That's why they're Pro Bowlers. That's why they're all pros. So, unless there's some kind of crazy trade that Bean pulls off to pull somebody into Buffalo that's on somewhat of their level of play, we're going to have to deal with, guys that are going to struggle a little bit at their position. And I still don't know who's filling in outside linebacker. I have a feeling it's going to be Dotson. Ugh, bleh. I much rather Dorian Williams, but I just have a feeling that McDermott's going to go with the vet and going to go with Dotson. I think it's a mistake. To be honest with you guys, as far as the cornerback goes, Dane Jackson, I believe he has a foot injury, I believe, so he may not even play this weekend, and it could be Christian Benford and Kyer Elam to start this Sunday against the Giants. And that's listen, let me tell you something. I did a video on it. Kyer Elam, man, here's your opportunity. Here it is. Because you weren't going to see the field this season if it wasn't for injuries. I'm going to be real with you. Guys, you can say what you want. Kyer Elam was not going to see the field. But here he is because of injuries. Kyer Elam, it's time to step up. It's time to show why you were the first round pick of the Buffalo Bills. Plain and simple. It's time for you to answer the bell and show your worth. And if you can't, man, guys, not good. And you're gonna see Ingram in there, or you're gonna see Josh Norman get called up from practice squad. So here's his opportunity against a team that he should play well against, that does not have a lot of weapons on the outside. He should look good. He should look better than he did last week. And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt last week because of obviously the travel, obviously a little bit of rust, confidence probably a little bit low. But man, Kyer, you should be playing with a chip on your shoulder, bro. Like you should be like, yeah, dude, y'all want to bench me? All right, man, I'm gonna show you what's up. Like that's how he should be. And I didn't see it last week. So let's see if he brings that juice this week. I really, really hope so. And that's the end of that article, by the way. And then also Daquan Jones. Puna Ford will be filling in for him. I like Puna Ford. I really, really do. He's no Daquan Jones, though, but there's a reason why we signed him. It was a shame that we only made him active week one, and he has been inactive since. I kind of feel that he should have been playing over Tim Settle, in my opinion, but that's a coach's decision. But now Puna Ford gets this opportunity, and this is the reason why we signed him. So go out there, do your thing, Puna Ford. Bills Mafia is behind you, and let's take care of business on Sunday night against the Giants. So, guys, comment below if you have anything that you guys want to mention that you're looking forward to as far as this game goes. Um, and yeah, man. Oh, by the way, real quick, too, guys. We do have a Friday Night Lights tonight at 8:30, a podcast tonight at 8:30. You guys know, if you guys are subscribed to Mafia Sports Report, you should already know this. Friday night, 8:30, we're always live. Friday Night Lights. It's our best podcast of the week. Hands down. Like there's trust me when I tell you guys that. So you don't want to miss that. Anybody new that's watching this for the first time, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. This way you don't miss us. And by the way, guys, post game Sunday night, we will be here live. You know it. We're here every post game live. We will not. We do not miss a post game, win or lose. Also Saturday, AFC East Shakedown. It's at 6 o'clock. That will be on Ace Per Head, and his link is in my homepage. So Ace Per Head on YouTube. That's a 6 o'clock AFC East Shakedown. You don't want to miss that either. And then at 2 o'clock is Fantasy Kingdom when Mikey and Howie they go over all the fantasy football stuff. So once again, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.